Okay, we are going to roll on. Roll on. Next up for us is Miami Dolphins at Tennessee Titans. Dolphins 8-7, 3-4 on the road. Titans 10-5, 6-2 at home. We're at Nissan Stadium in Nashville, Tennessee. We have these Dolphins opening up as 3.5-point dogs. That's where they stand right now. There's been no movement at all at Bet365. This total hasn't moved either at 41. Let's take a look at where the cash lies in this spot. We have 3,051 tickets in. 66% of the tickets are on the Titans, and 93% of the cash are on the Titans. Dolphins obviously on a short week. We don't know how many tickets are in right now on the total, but 54% of the cash is on the under. Wild. Okay, let's break this down. Dolphins coming off their 7th straight victory, an easy 23 win at New Orleans against the Saints. 4th-string quarterback Ian Book last night. They become the first NFL team to win 7 straight after losing 7 in a row. Brian Flores improved to 19-7 in games played after October. Tua Tagovailoa, 19-26, 198 yards, 1 touchdown, 1 interception. He entered the game with an NFL best completion rate of 69.9%. 19-26. I don't have it in front of me, but it's over 70. I think it's like 72 something, 72.6 maybe. Jalen Waddle had another great game, catching 10 passes for 92 yards and a touchdown. 96 catches this season. So he's passed Michael Thomas for the second most receptions by a rookie. He's 5 short of Anquan Bolden's rookie record of 101 back in 2003. Duke Johnson ran 13 times for 39 yards. Philip Lindsay ran 13 times for 36 yards. Miami's defense looked excellent. 8 sacks, 14 quarterback hits. They intercepted Book twice, once by Nick Needham and once by Brandon Jones. They become the first team in the Super Bowl era to have that many sacks, score a defensive TD, and hold an opponent under 200 yards while allowing no touchdowns or third down conversions. It was Peyton's first time not successfully completing a third down in his 15-year career with the Saints. But their COVID list is cornerback Justin Coleman, wide receiver Lynn Bowden, Robert Jones, tight end Keithan Carter, linebacker Duke Riley, guard Greg Mance, and then today they added Alan Hearns and Solomon Lindley. The Titans coming off extra rest and prep after their 2017 win at home over the Niners on Thursday night. Tannehill 22-29 for 209 yards and a touchdown. A.J. Brown was an absolute monster. God, he was just so dominant, so big and tough, and caught everything that went his way and changed the game. 11 catches for 145 yards. I believe Julio Jones had 1 for 7. Jeremy McNichols, Ryan Tannehill, Dontrell Hilliard, and Donta Foreman combined for 24 carries for 90 yards. The Titans went 9 for 16 on third down, and I was just losing my mind. And these weren't like 3rd and 2s. They were converting 3 and 8s, 3 and 9s. They played without the left side of their offensive line. Taylor Lewin out with an injured back, and now he's on the COVID list. Left guard Roger Saffold on the COVID list. Rookie Dylan Randon's a second-round pick out of North Dakota State, replaced Lewin, and the Titans did give up 4 sacks and didn't look very good there on the front line. The defense combined for 2 sacks, 3 quarterback hits. Amani Hooker and Janoris Jenkins each had sacks for the Titans, but their COVID list grew drastically this week. Offensive tackle Kendall Lamb was the only one on it, because we know that they've gone through COVID before, and there's an idea that these teams who've already gone through it aren't going to get hit as hard by it. Nate Davis, Julio Jones, Nick Westbrook-Ikine, linebacker Bud Dupree, cornerback Caleb Farley, cornerback Buster Screen, offensive tackle Taylor Lewin are now all on the COVID list in the last 36 hours. And yet the market's not moving towards the Dolphins. Very interesting spot. Bebsie, Dolphins 3.5-point road dogs. Take it away.
See, I see everyone in the chat backing the Titans here, but I just don't see it. If the Titans didn't win last week, they probably wouldn't be favored here, and they shouldn't have won last week. You watched that game. Jimmy Garoppolo gave that game to the Titans. He left 21 points on the board and gifted the Titans another 7. It should have been a Niners blowout. But as I did mention, Jimmy Garoppolo was due for a stinker. Birdie tried to accuse me of reverse jinxing my own team. What do you think of that, Birdie? Huh? What do you think of that? I was right. I just don't see the Tennessee Titans being able to score on this Miami defense. Now that Julio's out, yes, A.J. Brown is back. Apparently, he's allowed to not only push off, but literally throw a DB to the ground and run his route after that. I don't know how he got away with that one. That was insane. But yeah, AJ Brown will still be able to move the ball. But that's it. And this Titans offense is really, really not playing very well right now. And I don't think they're going to play any better against this Miami team. Yeah, Miami's been shutting down bad quarterbacks, but Tannehill hasn't been playing great. As soon as they lost Henry, he's been pedestrian. And look, this Miami team is also on a roll right now. So I think it's Miami or no play here.
I think that the under's got to be in play. There's more heavy winds in this game, 19 mile per hour. It's sunny and nice, but cold. I mean, I think that the under's got to be a look. Do you think that 41 is just too low?
It's very low. But again, like neither of these teams is going to be putting up a ton of points. So I wouldn't bet it. But if you forced me to, I would take the under on this one.
I agree, and I think I'm going to bet it. Pie Guy says, I don't see how either team gets over 20 unless a defensive score. Okay, do you want to move on these Miami Dolphins right now? Because those of you on the Titans, I really think you need to pump the brakes. Not because you've capped this wrong. I don't mean that at all. I just mean that with all of the COVID issues, they've just added 6 or 7 guys and big name guys. So I would wait. I would wait because I think you're going to get a better line. The Dolphins traveled to New Orleans. Now they're traveling to Tennessee, which puts them, in a vulnerable situation for COVID. It's generally the teams that are at home. Now it's probably not smart saying that, but it seems like the teams that get that second straight home game that are the ones that are less vulnerable situations. Jared TG says 17-14 written all over it. Pie Guy says, yeah, Dupree's huge. Harold Williams leaning to Miami plus 3.5. Well, I don't think when the COVID stuff starts coming out, I don't think this Miami plus 3.5. So just to give you another idea here, we've talked about these situations, and I almost think that we know how sharp a book Pinnacle is. If Pinnacle has this game off the board, they have it off the board because they don't know the extent of the Titans' issues. And it's already moved to 3 at circa, plus 3, plus 100. I should pull up FanDuel. I imagine FanDuel will do something nice for you. But let's just see here. You got plus 3.5 at minus 110 right now at Bet365. Should we grab that?
I think I'm going to move on the Dolphins here. I honestly just think they're playing much better football right now. And I see in the chat the reference to the teams that they've played and the quarterbacks that they've faced. Obviously, Ian Book was atrocious, but so bad that the announcers were trying to find other things to talk about than just how bad he was. But look, Miami's another team that's on a roll, and defensively they are locking things up.
Well, Dolphins plus 3.5 at minus 110. I'm going to pull FanDuel up and see if I can beat that, but that will be the spot right now. So I'm going to pull up FanDuel, but we're going to move on. I am close to moving on the under. I think this under will just gain traction. Let's just go back to where the cash is quickly on this. Sorry, I got too many things pulled up here. On this spot, we just have 54% of the cash on the under. We don't know. It's a low, but I like the under. Trammell Sturdivant says Miami's on fire right now. I like Bebsie's take on the Dolphins. Okay. And Real Deal Prime joining that as well. Jared TG says, I'm a Titans fan, but my gut is telling me Miami. Could see it both ways, though. Very interesting game. I think getting the hook is helpful here. And
for the people backing Tennessee right now, do you think they would be favored by 3.5 had they lost to the Niners at home last week? Because they should have. The Niners outplayed them. Jimmy Garoppolo gave that game away. So I think if Jimmy Garoppolo doesn't play like absolute trash, then they're not favored here. And they really, well, not by 3.5 anyways. And they really, really should not be favored by 3.5 here.
Strategic Investments giving us great stats here on the side. Keep an eye out for him. He's also written a book on sports handicapping. He's a great capper that we don't have in our chat enough, and I love it. You're right there, Lyles. They sure did win. And Birdie says locking things up versus Flacco, Book, Wilson, Tyrod.
Yeah, Damon Plantor making another great point. The San Francisco, listen, their secondary is Josh Norman and a third-round rookie that didn't play last year. That's who, that's who A.J. Brown destroyed.
All right, let's keep rolling here. I just want to, you know what? I'll get Jose to have it set up. Jose, when we get a nice clash between Bebsie and Birdie, let's get that. Let's get our little.
It's fuck you, Birdie. We're fighting. Let's go. Let's go.
Oh shit.